Hello everyone, my name is Jared Dodge and I am your host of Wild Leaders. Today we are talking with Bob Pope, who is on the board for the Wildlife Heritage Foundation in New Hampshire and also manager of Bass Pro Shops here in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Hi Bob, thanks for joining us today.
That's my pleasure.
So what was your first memorable outdoor experience that really impacts you today?
As a kid growing up, even as a little kid, my family always did a lot of camping down Cape Cod, and then also Greenfield State Park up there in New Hampshire. We spent a lot of summers camping up there.
That's awesome. What kind of outdoor activities were you involved in growing up?
I was in the Boy Scouts growing up. Actually became an Eagle Scout. So lots of working at summer camps and camping trips, hiking up Mount Monadnock, Mount Washington. We went to Europe a couple times and camped with some other troops in Germany and Norway. And that really got my love for the outdoors.
That's awesome. What did you previously do before joining Bass Pro Shops?
So I've been with Bass Pro Shops for 10 years. I've been up here for 4 since the store's been open. Before that, I was operations manager for Bass Pro Shops down in Foxborough, Mass. Prior to that, I worked for Modell Sporting Goods for a few years and Circuit City for 10 years, the now defunct electronics chain.
That's awesome. What is it like being the manager of the biggest outdoor outfitter in the country?
It's amazing. Every day you wake up and you feel like it's something special, right? Because there's only about 75 Bass Pro Shops. We did just add Cabela's. There's more now, but there's nothing like it, especially in retail in the world, I don't think. You get to work with about 120 other really passionate outdoors men and women that come from all different walks of life, and get to support them and help them support our customers to do things outside.
That's great. What do you find is the most challenging part of being a manager?
There's a lot of different plates that are spinning at the same time. You know, you've got, of course, your forward-facing customer service that you've got to provide at all times, but operationally, logistics, there's the freight flow that comes in, merchandising the store, replenishment, our hiring and staffing and training that's ongoing, and then all the different curveballs that just come up every day when you're running a business this large.
Right. So you're on the board of directors for the Wildlife Heritage Foundation. Are there any other organizations that you're involved in?
Currently, that's the only board that I'm serving as a member on, although we work with a lot of different conservation groups. A big one for us is the Wild Turkey Federation of New Hampshire, and then directly with Fish and Game as well. We've got a great partnership with them. We also work with Trout Unlimited on a regular basis.
That's awesome. So how did you get involved with the Wildlife Heritage Foundation?
As we were setting the store up, we have lots of folks coming in looking for donations for all different kinds of groups. And Steve White came in to visit, and he explained to me about what the Heritage Foundation does for Fish and Game in particular. And I'd also kind of been teed up from Fish and Game that there were some pretty extensive needs that they had that they were unable to meet just through their license sales. And Steve, I worked with Steve. We had our conservation night, which was our very first night that we were open, and 50% of every dollar we took in that night was donated to 3 organizations. 2 were national, and I was able to get the third one as the Heritage Foundation. Made a pretty sizable donation that night. And Steve came knocking a few days later and asked me if I was interested in being on the board, and I thought that would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's great. How important do you feel that the work the Wildlife Heritage Foundation does is to conservation?
Well, I guess I sort of feel like unfortunately, it's very critical to Fish and Game in New Hampshire because they have no other means of revenue. Our organization is really necessary to help Fish and Game go on as a viable entity. And so for me to be able to be a part of that and help provide the grant money to the various grants that Fish and Game needs is critical to conservation here in New Hampshire.
Right, that's awesome. So moving forward, what do you think some goals are that you want to see the Wildlife Heritage Foundation accomplish?
Well, I feel like the foundation is right on the cusp of turning into something much bigger. In fact, we've already seen that over this past year.
Right.
But getting them, the foundation, to have more of an influence on where the monies can go to attract more folks to appreciate our outdoors here in New Hampshire,
right,
and in a safe, healthy environment that Fish and Game can provide with the right monies in place.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for
All right.
joining us, Bob. It's great
Yeah, no
talking
problem.
with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching Wild Leaders. We'll see you on the next one.